Hi and welcome to my playhouse, and today we're gonna power this beast of a Fujitsu server. It's the RX2540 Model 4, and I borrowed this from Fujitsu to have a look at it, show it to you guys, do a review. We are mostly just looking at it, and I'll let it be up to you if you like what you see. So I'm just sharing it with you. But today we should really power this beast of a server. I expect that I will power it. We'll see on the monitor here how it looks, and then we'll try and access the BIOS or the UEFI and configure the remote access to the server. So yeah, let's get going. So here we are around the back, and my cable management is non-existing. So we're just gonna pop in some. The power supplies is in the other side of the server, as I'm used to. Over here on the Lenovo's, they're all on this side, and my cable, power supply, and stuff is well, yeah, I made it as if that's the way to do it. So I had to find some cables that was a bit too long. So yeah, this one will go in there. It's powered. And we have another one there, and that goes in there. So now we have power on it, and the power supplies starts up, and we need our screen that goes over here. Otherwise we need to make sure, okay, we have the network connection here. That's probably number 1 first network connection, and the second network connection, and we have the IMM up here, which is not the IMM, but which I have forgotten the name for. I believe it started with an I, and we also have these 25 gigabit Mellanox cards, but I have nothing to plug those into. And then we have some 10 gigabit Ethernet cards here. I do actually have something to plug those into. Oh, it's dark up there. I do have the Ubiquiti 10 gigabit switch sitting up here, but I am not sure that we are going to be needing that. So keyboard and mouse, and we need a couple of network connections here, so that will go in underneath the monitor right there. And the management cable, I mark my management cables with a little red zip tie there. So I think we're good to go to get something on our screen out there. Okay, it's powered. Oh, I'll just get rid of this, it's kind of in the way. We see that it has a very powerful green light there, and if we zoom in on that, it's very powerful, but that's where we turn it on, I guess. I'm expecting that it's not on, so there we are. Now it's on. And we should get something on the screen, I'm expecting. Okay. It got an IP number, we get a serial number, we get a splash screen. Oh, you can't see diddly squat. Oh, we are gonna press F2 to enter setup. Holy shit. This is your captain speaking. We are ready to go on runway number 005. Okay. This looks like an old PC BIOS. Had a lot of errors out there. I didn't like those. Okay, let's see. System information. What can we get out of it? It says that it's an RX2540 M2. Serial number, we have some MAC addresses, we have the CPU down here, the Intel Xeon Silver 4108 CPU, 1.8 GHz, comes with 64 gigabytes of memory, 2400 megahertz. Okay, let's go back, advanced settings. Whoa, there is a lot of stuff. to mess with here. You would almost expect that there would be an overclocking scenario here, but I don't think so. It sees a lot of the network things, iSCSI configuration, Intel virtual RAID on CPU, Mellanox, network connections, driver, okay, security, we can set some password thingies, power, wake on LAN resources, and I think server management, that's probably where we should go and set an IP number for this. Oh, it's the iRMC. I think it stands for Integrated Remote Management Console. Let's see if it didn't say. It has already gotten an IP number from the DHCP server, so we didn't have to mess with that. That's good enough. I don't need to put a static one for the little bit of testing that I'm gonna be doing. So that's good. If you will just help me remember number 15, that would be awesome. Firmware version. Let me go back. Oh, the boot order, save and exit. It's very much like a older PC BIOS, although this should be an UEFI. A lot of advanced features here. Onboard device configuration, the flex LUM. So we could go and check out the disk configuration. There is a bunch of, there is an iSCSI configuration, there is an Intel virtual RAID on CPU, there's LSI software RAID configuration utility SATA. Guessing that might be the built-in SATA ports on the system board. Then further down we have LSI SAS3 MPT controller. I am guessing that's the one we actually want to look at. And then there is this LSI software RAID configuration utilities SATA. Okay, let's go check that one. And yeah, this is a double click and we get the option of controller management and physical drive management. I think we want to go see if it sees the drives that are in there. It should see 6 drives over here. Those. There are 2 SSDs, 480 gigabytes, and then there is 4 spinning drives, which are 2 terabytes. So let's check that. View physical disk. Okay, let's try that. We see the first, there is one of the SSDs there, direct access device, and it sees it as an SATA SSD. It's a Samsung. Good choice of SSDs, I must say. Yeah, we can pick another drive. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it sees all the drives. Let's take the next one. That should also be an SSD. Yep, also an SSD. Let's check the next one. That should be a 2 terabyte spinning drive, and it is 1.863 gigabytes, and that is a Seagate drive. We can see that from in here. Not good for an overview. Let's go see what the computer sees. I believe the IP number was number 15, right? I must say that this is the server that you can hear out here. It is the noisy one. This one is running. It is actually processing raw video data right now. My editing program is converting that, but it's this one that is it's the loud one. Yeah, this is the M4, my Lenovo server out there, and it's almost done processing the first Fujitsu video, the one at my apartment. So that is actually doing a lot of work. I do believe we can see how much it's doing. Summary, that's better. It's using about half the CPU power. So, okay. But let's join me on Twitter, join me on Patreon. Let's see, the IP number was there. What happens? Oh, we get a security screen. Normal, unsafe. Administrator. Wonder what that is. I'll be right back. Okay, somewhere it said admin. So we're gonna try that. And it worked. So, hacked. Okay. So what can we see? It's a nice menu here. Clean. We have the model, we have the chassis type, serial number, system tag ID, unique system ID, BIOS version, operating system information, it doesn't know that yet, system board information, power status. It has been 5 hours and 15 minutes. Okay, someone has had it on before me. We have only had power on this for way less than that. Running firmware. So there is 2 firmware versions. There's a backup firmware, I'm guessing. Very nice. Active session information. Administrator has logged in. Okay. Then there is installed license key. KVM. You have a valid permit license installed. Okay, it comes with licenses. The server has been bought for the specific purpose of being a Microsoft Storage Spaces Direct Server D2D, I believe he called it. So probably the server comes with this license keys installed. We might be able to do a remote console out to it if we can find it. Okay, let's see what we have. We have logins, logs. Okay, so we can probably see me logging in. Then we have update, development, custom image, virtual media, certification, reporting, backup system, user management, launch, advanced video redirection, start video redirect. I'm guessing that might be it. Oh, Java. We love Java, don't we? Okay, it's actually working. So when it's working, we don't hate Java just as much. This is actually pretty cool. It worked the first time. That's not often that happens. This server comes with that installed, but that is extra. If you buy the absolute bare bone of these servers, you will not get that option to do a remote control. You have to do the license things first. Okay, we can do a lot of stuff. I will never get to do all of this in this video. We can create local users. We can lightweight directory access protocol LDAP, so it can communicate with the Active Directory. Central Authorization Service, CAS. Okay, so it has different options for managing users. It can do a lot of stuff. We have power on and off scheduling, so the server can power on and off by itself when it's not needed. This is great for like companies that don't use the servers in the weekends. Have it power on Monday morning and work through the week, and then Friday afternoon when people ought to go home, well, power off for the weekend. It could also power off after hours every day. Yeah, that's another option. Okay, here under system there is system board, and we can see different stuff from the system board. It shows me the CPU, that Intel Xeon Silver 4108 CPU, 1.8 gigahertz. It shows me that it's an 8-core CPU, and then there is 8 hyper-threading as well. So a total of 16 threads on that, and that the second CPU is not occupied. There is nothing in there. Then we can go on to the RAM, where we can see that there are 4 blocks installed. Each of these are 16 gigabyte blocks of RAM, 2400 megahertz. Max frequency, they're not running at their max, which is probably because that silver CPU is not able to max that out. We could just check that. So here we have that Intel Xeon Silver 4108 processor, and it's a brand new one, 14 nanometers, awesome. But down here it has a maximum frequency of the RAM of 2400 megahertz. It can though take 768 gigabytes in total, so it can do a lot, but it is not able to do the maximum frequency of that. So that was kind of correct. The RAM is faster than what the CPU can handle. that's usually okay. It's worse the other way around. So that was the RAM. Let's see, then we have operating voltages. So we get measurements of the different voltages. There is the BIOS battery, standby 12 volt. There is some iRMC 1.8 volts, and we get the different values. This is the current values, like what they actually are, and then there is minimum value, maximum value, and normal values, and it checks if the current value is inside of that. You probably get an alert if it's not. Very nice. You might be able to see if the power supply is doing bad. If the main 12 volt power supply is nearing the minimum value here, well, there's a good chance that that's to be replaced soon. But really, power supplies usually outlive the servers that they supply power to. So then we have some PCI slots. It doesn't show anything here, nothing interesting there. Then we have a trusted platform module, a TPM. That was actually mounted in there. I did see it on the walkthrough of the server. I forgot to mention it. So hardware enabled, yes, it's enabled and deactivated. Weird. Ownership establishment, no. Okay, so it's present, but it's not enabled. Then we have some power on self-test, and that was okay last time we checked. Let's go to power. What do we have? We have power supplies. We have two power supplies, 800 watts. Their vendor is Delta. Then we have power supply redundancy and configuration. So full redundancy, okay. And power consumption, oh, that could be interesting. So we are currently using 150 watts. That's not a lot. Maximum power wattage, minimum is also 150. And peak was 154 average. So okay, and we can see that PSU1 and PSU2 is kind of splitting that in the middle. It shows us that the CPU is using some of that power, the system is using most of the power, fans 22%, so the fan blowers are using as much power as the CPU at present time. Hard drives using more than the fans and the CPUs, and then total 132 watts. Okay, nice. Cooling, we have the fans, and they are going fast out there. It might be, let's go out of the BIOS here. Let's see if, I have no idea if there's anything installed on this server, but it could, did it do anything? Did I press the wrong thing? It could be that it's doing maximum speed when it's in the BIOS. Some of these numbers are actually lower. These two, not so high. Quit without saving. Yes, we didn't do anything. Let me out. It's teasing me. So we're gonna try and save changes and reset. Yes, do that. Let me out of the BIOS. Thank you. No signal. So now it should be booting. I would expect it pops up with something. There we are, Fujitsu. So back here, the fans they are still going strong. Let's see if they cool down when it gets out of there at some point. And temperature sensors, ambient 16 degrees. They shouldn't really be doing much, should they? At that temperature. That is Celsius. And it says here that it will warn me about the temperature if we reach 37 degrees, and if we reach 42 it will be critical. And why did it go back into the BIOS? So maybe we can test shutting it down from here. A system power button. Okay, we have different power. Immediate reset. We will try that one. Yes, and it did immediately reset. It might be because there is no operating system installed of any kind, and then it just jumps into the BIOS. That might be why. I have no idea. Just jumps into the BIOS. We will probably have to install something on it for it not to do that. We're not gonna worry about that in this video. Okay. That was cooling. We have different temperatures here, different sensors. The power supplies inlets, they say they see 17 degrees Celsius. CPU one, that is 23 degrees. So nothing bad whatsoever. Mass storage, RAID controller not found. Directly attached disks, so it must be an HBA that are in there. And it sees hard drive 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the 6 drives. Then we have 2 M.2 SSDs down here, which should be in a RAID 1. So they are also present. Awesome. Can we do anything? Probably not with an HBA. It just presents the drive to the operating system, if there was an operating system. So let's go on to software. What is this? Software. Driver monitor. Monitor the device. Okay, nothing much. Network. We have some network ports. We have 2 onboard 1 gigabit. We have 2 PCI Express cards 25 gigabits, and then we have 2 LOM on a LOM adapter, which are 10 gigabits. So awesome. ASI connect. Doesn't seem like it. Warranty. Okay, maybe that's probably for calling home. Would that be it? ASI connect remote session. Might be. I'm not totally sure about that. Okay, there is a lot of things to go over here, and I'm sure a lot of them, it looks very similar to what you see on other servers, so it looks like they got all of it. Something might be missing, and then they might have some extra at some point. Let's see, what if we were to wanna install an operating system on this? CD media. Okay, that's a CD. Let's mount a ISO file, CD image. Let's check that. I believe I have in server 2016 evaluation version. There. Open that. Connect. Connected. Let's try that. Let's reboot it. We're gonna do that install in another video. I'm just curious to how it works. I'm gonna be doing it anyway, so we might as well just see if it comes up with it. Then I'm halfway done. Oh, we powered it off. Sorry. Yes, power on. Yes. I was totally asleep there. So yeah, that was stupid. I don't know if we need to press something to get the boot order right. We can press F12. Let's just see if it finds it all by itself. Otherwise we will try that F12. Oh, we can now press to boot from CD. There we are. So I would be able to install Windows Server on that. Awesome. Okay, so that's where we're gonna end this video. I am ready to install Server 2016 over here, so I'm probably gonna do that next weekend. But do follow me over at social media, where I have been posting that this server had moved into the rack. If you saw something different, I am on Facebook and I am on Twitter, and of course there's a lot of awesome people that likes what I do and support me over at Patreon, where you're very welcome. And if you are one of the awesome people that support me on Patreon, please remember to watch the videos over there. I'm gonna be making a new one in a couple of minutes, and you will have seen that I've done this probably more than a week ahead of this video actually going up on YouTube. Thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe so that you can see me again, and have a really nice day. Bye bye.